welcome to Heavyweights. I'm Dennis and this is Chafin, and we are the Heavyweights. And today we're going to talk about the number 6. 6, that crazy number of the beast in the book of Revelation. We're going to talk about some amazing transhuman research that's going on right now, and the move to transhumanism. If you've ever heard of that, it's just crazy. And we're going to talk about our daily bread, our journey, see how we're doing on our journey, and as well, what else are we talking about today?
I wanted to talk about knowledge. While it's knowledge is power, can knowledge lead to sin? That's a question that I've kind of been questioning.
Yeah, and we're back, and we've had some issues going on. I went gone for a couple of weeks on vacation, then I was sick for a couple of weeks, and then we recorded this program right here, and the audio didn't record. So here we are back doing a second version of it, and we hope it's as good as the first version. Well, let's talk about the 666, the mark of the beast. That is supposedly coming on to earth. The Bible talks about the mark of the beast, and it seems like we're moving closer and closer to that. There's some crazy transhumanist events that are going on.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely globalizing. That's obvious. There's an agenda to globalize and to get rid of nation states. And then, of course, our technology is advancing so rapidly and so biblically predictably. It's scary.
Yeah, I mean, the book of Revelation, chapter 13, talks about a worldwide empire that's run by the beast. And, you know, we Christians have been talking about the one world government for a long time, and we just haven't seen anything like that happen until the pandemic. And the pandemic came in, and an amazing thing happened. All the nations of the earth, basically, except for a few, did the same thing. They followed the same rules. It was like a one world government run by WHO. And speaking of WHO, did you know that the United States just ceded its pandemic power to the WHO? That's what I understand anyway. Yeah. What that will mean is that a foreign entity will be running our pandemic response. So basically, it's like we put ourselves under the umbrella of another government.
It's one step closer.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you think about what happened during the pandemic is people, it was like, what do they call that? Mass hallucination or disinformation or whatever it is. They've convinced everybody to do the same thing, even if it wasn't right. So we shut down our businesses, and that didn't help anything at all. That 2 weeks to what was it? What did they say? 2 weeks?
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah. And that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Then it was only 2 months, and
I think the flat was more
years.
Like
There was no flat of the curve. And then they instituted masks, and you know, places that had no masks and places that had masks, it made no difference. It appeared, and then they did the vaccination, and the vaccinations didn't seem to make any difference at all. And now we're having all these vaccine adverse events. So I mean, there's some crazy stuff that went on.
Yeah, and honestly, sorry, the scariest thing for me was how easily the public was manipulated, how easily they gave up their rights and their power to the government, and that's so scary. Obviously, a lot of people didn't, maybe half or whatever. But you look how easy it is for the government to come in and say this is what's going to happen, and they did it to the churches, they did it to the schools, they did it to everybody they could do it to.
So we are ready. We have this prepping us for a time when the beast will enter into what's going on. So here's something in Revelation, the book of Revelation, and it says about this number 666 in the one world government, that the beast, or the Antichrist, causes all people, both great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads that so that no one could buy or sell unless they have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And then it says, here's wisdom. Let's understand what that number is. It's the number 666. Well, there's a big movement right now in the transhumanist movement. We've been talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people are really talking about AI and the advancement of technology. Well, I stumbled across this this thing called Neuralink that Elon Musk it's one of his many companies. But I don't know if you want to go into that.
Yeah, and what they're wanting to do is he's doing research right now, and they've just been granted permission to do human trials
From the FDA.
From the FDA to put a brain implant, a computer type chip, some kind of a brain implant in your brain, which is touted to be able, among other things, to help with obesity, solve that problem, to help with depression, that would be nice, to help with some other severe
Other things, right.
mental brain type activities that are, neurological. And you can also, by the way, you'll be able to browse the web
Google.
with it. So you'll be able to think, and it will happen. And so that, the transhumanist movement. So even before that, there's companies right now that are implanting chips in the back of people's hands, and they're GPS tracking chips. And what you can do is you can take this and you can scan it in order to make a payment, and it's got all your financial information on it, all your bank information on it, and you can use it just like your credit card. And so this stuff, the precursors to stuff that we would have never believed that would be possible, they're happening right now.
And this technology is pretty awesome, and it's very beneficial and very cool. I mean, like, it's exciting. It really is. And we saw this all coming, honestly. I mean, we watched the Jetsons growing up, and we had imaginations and watched Hollywood movies. But, a lot of this technology, you were like, no, this will never happen. But it's exciting, but it's also very scary, the potential evil you can do with this technology.
What this means is that the end times are here, and that the empire of the Antichrist is not very far away. So here's what 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says. It says, my brothers, concerning brothers and sisters, concerning the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ and our gathering together with him, the rapture, don't be soon shaken in mind or troubled in spirit, as though the day of Christ had already come. In other words, it hasn't come yet. Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless two things happen. Unless the apostasy happens first, and number two, and then the Son of Man will be revealed, the son of perdition, who is the Antichrist. So the Antichrist is waiting in the wings for the great apostasy, and he's waiting in the wings for believers, for the day of Christ to come and believers to be taken up to the Lord Jesus Christ. So he may well be alive right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
It seems like if he's not, he's got to be born pretty soon. Too many crazy things are happening.
Maybe he's Elon Musk. I thought you were one
You
of the
are getting
heavyweights,
strong.
man.
No, I just my personal opinion is I think we're in the... I think if he's not alive, it's happening very soon. It's got.
You need to be prepared for the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. You need to be prepared for eternity. So you need to put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, because the Bible is incredibly accurate in its prophetic utterances, and this is one of them, that this is going to come to pass. So that's our take on 666 and what's going on today. Hey, we forgot to talk about our daily bread. Yeah. Let's talk about our daily bread, and maybe it's a good time to do that because it's talking about hope.
Yeah.
And today there's a great loss of hope. They say that man can live 4 minutes without... No, they say they can live 40 days without food, 4 days without water, 4 minutes without air, but only 4 seconds without hope. And if you don't have hope... Boy, that's really crazy. So
yeah, and I'll be honest. I mean, like I do sometimes struggle with hope for the world, anyways. As I see how the world and the way it's going, and it's the hope for the world is I struggle with it, and God bless my mother. I got her pessimism has definitely rubbed off on me growing up, and negativities about the possibility of the end times and what it brings for us, which is anti-God.
Well, hope is responsible for loss of motivation.
Yeah.
Hope is responsible for depression. Loss of hope is responsible for depression. Loss of hope is responsible for just, you think about it. There's no reason to live anymore. Suicides.
Yeah.
So hope is so important, and hope comes through the Lord Jesus Christ, and I get that. We all lose hope, and when I lose hope and desperation sets in, I just want to quit. You kind of want to check out of the merry-go-round and hope the world stops, and you can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah, I think you have to find a way to remotivate yourself to find that hope again, and I find that every time with God, and every time I give up relying on my own self and my own hopes, and stop thinking about all the negativity, and I just give it to God. And
that's a big deal about hope, isn't it? Sometimes we sit there on YouTube or watch the news, and all this negative stuff.
It's overwhelming.
It just washes over
us.
So at some point, you got to check out of some of this stuff.
Yes.
And you got to say, I can't make a difference in any of those things, and I can't change any of those things. What I need to do is focus on what I can change.
And I think you brought up a good point. To take yourself away from these situations, and when you first asked me to help out with the youth group, I was very hesitant, just out of my comfort zone. But I'll tell you what, every Wednesday and every time we're going on these activities, I see the hope. That gives me hope. I see those kids, and they give me hope, and of course it re-energizes, rejuvenates me. And I think doing stuff like that, finding an outlet, doing something positive for other people, I think those things will give you hope, because you're going to see it.
You bet.
It'll come back to you.
Doing for others.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's talk about our personal journey. Weight loss and getting to become heavyweights. I don't want to talk about mine, because mine...
I bet you don't.
Like I said, because mine has been just because of 2 weeks vacation, 2 weeks of sickness, and I'm just coming back, and I bulked back up to 209, but I'm back down to 207. Back to 207.
He bulked up.
And what have you bulked down to, my man?
I love the wording that you put there. He bulked up. So I bulked up a little bit too, but I also lost some fat at the same time, which brought down the weight.
Cool.
I'm officially under 300 pounds.
It's time to have a celebration.
Pizza party time!
Ooh, yeah. Woo, baby. Woo.
No, but I'm under 300 pounds. I think that, we didn't start weighing ourselves until, or we didn't start really doing this until a few weeks into to working out. So I'm not sure what I was at the beginning, but I feel like I was close to 320.
So you've
maybe
lost
a little under.
You've lost a little over 20 pounds.
About 20 pounds.
Which is incredible.
Take,
Incredible. So 20 pounds
working hard
is 2 10-pound bags of sugar. And that's big. Yeah, that's pretty big.
It's huge.
Or 2 10-pound bags of potatoes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah. It's just the benefits come along with that aren't just that you look better, because that's
you could
seems to be
look better than you do.
A very slow journey, but the feeling better has been almost immediate, and of course it just seems to get better and better. Recently I've been feeling a little bit fatigued, but I think that's just sleeping or whatever. But I felt tired yesterday coming to church. Felt tired. I almost fell asleep couple times during your sermon.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty normal.
I can't believe you didn't fall asleep every week.
But I got home and I took maybe a 5 or 10 minute nap. I'm not sure how long it was, but I got up and I was feeling a little guilty about it. I don't know why, but I got up and I started cleaning and cleaned around the house and
what motivation?
And then I mowed the yard and then I washed my car. Ooh, and I'm like,
and now it's dirty again.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. But anyway, but yeah, no, it's amazing what working out will do for you, just and just mentally as well. Yeah, it just makes you just crisper.
Well, we got another topic that you got, and what that other topic? Knowledge. Does knowledge lead to sin?
Yeah, so this is something I thought about, well, like I said, about a week ago, but I had been thinking about, and the reason I bring this subject is because my observations. There's this girl in our youth group who is struggling with identity. She came to youth group one time a few months back and asked to be called by a different name, and of course, we didn't. And she's been very nice. If she had pushed back, maybe we would have honored that. But, she didn't push back. So, but anyway, point being is this: I saw this and I recognized that. I'm like, why is, why is she struggling with this? I know that when I grew up, I struggled with depression. I struggled, with fitting in. All the normal stuff, maybe worse than others. I know kids who didn't struggle near as much as me. I'm sure maybe internally. But anyway, I dealt with a lot of it. But I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody who knew anybody. I could keep going with that. Who knew anybody who even thought, okay, I'm in the wrong body. I feel like a woman or whatever. I didn't know, that's not even something on the mind. So all of a sudden you have her, and then of course you hear about it all the time, and it's like, well, what can be that conclusion? Well, is if she did not know about transgenderism issues and so on, and if she didn't see others dealing with this problem, would she even come to the conclusion that I am dealing with my identity? I don't, so on and so forth. Maybe she would conclude that it's coming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
In conclusion, I'm seeing this happen because people are observing, they're soaking in this knowledge, and maybe there's some relevance to it because you look at Adam and Eve for an example. What did they eat from? They ate from the tree of knowledge and of good and evil. So it wasn't. So there has to be something to this whole knowledge thing. I don't think that knowledge is sinful. I think knowledge is a good thing, but I think it's what you do with that knowledge.
Yeah, they say that whoever controls the words, whoever controls the narrative, controls society.
Yep.
And so what has gone on is they're trying to control your pronouns. Yeah. They're trying to control the narrative. You look at the news, and we saw this with the shooting at Umpqua Community College a number of years ago. What happened here got spun over here, and I see that all the times. You see that with, I saw it yesterday. A woman, they got a picture of a woman next to a bike, and a guy who's a man of color, black, looks like he's trying to get the bike from her. And the spin on social media was that she was stealing his bike. Well, it turns out when they turned in the receipts and everything, it was him and his buddies who were trying to steal the bike from her, but it was turned into a racism thing where she was racist against this guy, and she was trying to steal his bike, and that wasn't. And so you can spin. And so controlling the narrative. So
they distort knowledge. They distort the truth in order to make things in order to benefit their agenda. So is what you're saying.
Yeah, what the communists said, what Stalin said, what Lenin said is, you give me your children till they're 12 years old, and I will have them for life. And that is what the education system, those who are radically left are
Yeah.
trying to do in our education system, and they've done it very well. They have taken over our education so that they can steal the next generation, and
Yeah.
they've done that.
Yep.
And so they are rabid evangelists for their cause,
Yeah.
and they have stolen the narrative. And so that's why Christianity has gone from the mainstream now to a kind of a left-wing crazy. So here's what happened the other day.
Yeah.
The Gideons. You heard about the Gideons here in Roseburg. You know, they're a great group of people, and they hand out Bibles, and they were handing out Bibles on a public sidewalk to a school, a junior high school. And parents saw them, and they became upset. It's as though the same parents would not be upset if there was a drag queen reading pornography to their children in story hours, but if you got a Gideon who's reading a Bible story, or Cameron, what's his name?
Kirk Cameron.
Kirk
Yeah.
Cameron reading his story, his biblical story,
Yeah.
to a group of children. Now they're upset because now, he's ruining people. But listen, the Bible doesn't ruin people. The Bible turns freaks into people. We got a real problem in our society where the narrative has been co-opted, and people are listening to
Yeah.
the wrong voices. And in that sense, I got to agree with you. Knowledge can lead to sin, because if you control the information, and the information
Yeah.
is from the enemy himself,
Yeah.
and that's what's going on.
I mean, I just look at, you look at copycat, murders and so on and so forth. So I just think there is something to that, and it's so powerful. Knowledge might be probably the most powerful thing you could ever there is, I think.
Well, a man who's convinced of error, and he's got error in his mind, it's very difficult to convince him of the truth,
Right.
because knowledge creates pride. And some of the most proud people are the most educated people, and they think that they
Yeah.
are right. They have been educated this way, and they know that they're right, even though,
Isn't that funny?
yeah. isn't
You,
that
I mean, you
interesting?
look at you look at some of the most intelligent people in the world ever. What's his name? The
Starts with a J.
not Jordan Peterson,
Okay.
but yeah, I agree. But I don't. He's not an atheist. But some of the most intelligent people in the world are atheists. It's like, dude, you are so smart. How could you not recognize,
Right.
what's obvious to us? But so, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the devil himself is the most highly educated individual in the universe, or one of those.
Probably a pretty smart guy.
Probably a pretty smart guy, but knowledge doesn't always lead you to the right decisions,
Yes.
especially if you're into yourself. Well, what you need to be is you need to be into God, and you need to recognize that God is the Almighty, all wisdom, all powerful, and we need to submit ourselves to Him. Well, that's our story today, and we're sticking to it, man. We're heavyweights. We talked about 666, and we talked about hope, and we talked about, does knowledge lead to sin? We talked about our journey, and we are so glad that you've joined us on this journey. We hope you will subscribe to our channel and hit that button and like our video and tell other people about it, because quite honestly, we need a few more subscribers.
No, we like the
Yeah.
subscribers we got now.
We like to talk to nobody.
But we're open to more if they want. If they're cool, it's cool.
Hey, thanks for watching. We're heavyweights. See you next time.
All right.